Yes, indeed. Welcome to something that I'm considering to be not just socially distant, but also emotionally distant with, I would say, the most emotionally distant person I've ever known. The one, the only Salman David Weiss. I know I inverted it. David Salman Weiss. How are you, sir?
What's up, America?
And you are a little cameo appearance from my wife on the other side of the sliding door. She has to go back to work, making the real money. This doesn't pay the bills, believe it or not. And we're here. We're going to share some thoughts on, yeah, that's right, the world and all of the really important stories that are going on right now. I know, David, there's something that is a particular bee in your bonnet at the moment. Would you like to talk about a certain talk show host?
Well, Christian, I've been following with great interest the trials and travails of one Miss Ellen DeGeneres. And what I would like to say is we knew 20 years ago she was a phony. So this is not news to any of us in the business we call show.
I mean, I'm never surprised when someone isn't as nice as they seem. I mean, I worked at 30 Rock when Rosie O'Donnell was there, and she was literally on the cover of Newsweek as the queen of nice. And yet anyone that worked there would say that that might not be entirely accurate. You would have other people who went far enough to say much worse about her. So when I heard that, Ellen wasn't nice, I'm like, yeah, and so what? I'd be shocked if she was.
Another phony in Hollywood. I mean, it's the exception that proves the rule.
Yeah. So
or is it the other way around?
But there are people who are upset. Like you'll hear stories about, I've heard people say things like, well, my mother was very upset and she deleted all of the saved Ellens she had on her DVR, her favorite episodes. She says she can't watch anymore. And I don't know. I hear that and I'm like, well, good. Pick up a book or, get in the kitchen.
Steve Harvey.
Watch Steve Harvey. Yeah, exactly. Although Steve Harvey, now he had that memo. Do you remember the Steve Harvey memo that went around that you're not to look at him?
Well, that was another Ellen thing too.
Yeah.
Don't make eye contact.
Yeah, and that was the interesting thing because, you worked for him in different capacities. We both worked for Dennis Miller. He never said don't look in the eye, but you just didn't want to because he could see inside your soul and
rip it out.
Find the weakness. Yeah, it's like Temple of Doom. Like he would pull out your heart and show it to you. And then
before eating it.
Yeah, and he'd show it to all the other writers and everybody would laugh. And I don't know. But I don't know. I mean, who's been like somebody that, and look, Dennis has been very good to me over the years.
Myself.
Yeah. So he's somebody that people said, oh, watch out for him. And I'm like, just don't be full of shit. Just talk to him. And if something's fucked up, don't pretend that it's not.
Right.
And you'll do all right. But I'm trying to think of examples of people who you're surprised in show business. And if you're watching live,
surprised that they're nice.
Yeah, surprised that they're nice. No, I'm never surprised that anybody isn't nice. I mean, I think when I was younger, I might have been surprised by that, but we're way past that part of my life, the age of the innocence, as it were. But
I was never innocent.
No, of course not. Not you.
I was born this way, America.
So our friend Dominicus Saxon said he would be here, and he tweeted when I tweeted out that this would be happening today. He said, quote, "The Prince of Darkness wouldn't miss it for anything, even sex." And I feel really sorry for Mrs. Saxon that what you're looking at right now, for those watching the video, and yeah, I'll repurpose this as audio because I'm lazy. That's kind of the only reason why. But anybody who's looking at this and thinking better than sex, I don't know. I mean, I think
having never had sex, I'm not sure I can provide an answer for that.
That's a great point. I had two occasions that I'm told I was involved in because I have two kids.
Christian,
but I don't see the proof.
I have some very bad news.
Oh no. So I need to know. We don't need to spend too much time on this topic, but you must be riveted by the Democratic National Convention that's been on TV the last few nights. It's this whole week. Did you clear your whole schedule to make sure that you're able to not miss a moment?
No.
Did you even know it was happening this week?
I did know, unlike Mayor Bill de Blasio of New York City, I did not make believe that there was no convention going on. I watched about half of Michelle Obama's speech, but, and it was a great speech, but I don't need to watch 2 more days of speeches. I mean, I know what I'm going to do, and,
yeah,
hooray for Jill Stein.
Yeah, obviously. I think that any sensible person is going to vote for Jill
Yeah.
Stein. I think she has the real vision
Yes.
for America. We've got a few friends in the chat. Corby from Branson, I was going to stay, but I got a better idea. So now we've put some randy thoughts in his mind. So Mrs. Corby, and then following through on the joke, Corby says, okay, I'm back. So that was as much as he was able to help out with Mrs.
Thanks,
Corby in
for
all
your
of
contribution.
that. But we've also got Kame Egan. What's your opinion on Ellen's apology? I thought it was a crock because she's worried her fan base is going to drop significantly. I don't know. She gets paid either way, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
if no one ever watches that show again, she's still getting paid. So I don't think she cares about the fan base.
No. And they fired 3 of her executive producers. Excuse me. And so that's how they're going to make this right. But it'll never be right because she's been exposed as a phony.
Yeah, I think that there's, I don't know. You know what my favorite apology was that we got in recent years was Kevin Spacey's. Do you remember his apology? Where he used the opportunity to say, I should look it up, but I think he said that this was the time, because he was accused of doing something when the actor from Rent, Stephen Rapp, was underage. And he used this as an opportunity to say something that I don't think any of us were surprised by, which was, I think he said he's a gay American, like Native American, Asian American. I think, and so he used it as the opportunity to come out. And I think everybody was like, oh no, that Kaiser Soze, this was not the time for that. This was the time to just not say anything. Because you have your people that when they get into some trouble, you just don't hear from them for a while.
Right. Or you hear from their surrogates.
Yeah. I think that Louis C.K., there's one tweet, and we don't see him anymore except for when he puts out a special or goes on tour in Israel.
Is that what he does?
He did. I mean, he did I think he did that last year. It just he doesn't, I don't think they publicize if he shows up at a comedy club, and if he actually does his own gig, you have to buy it through his website so nobody else is involved. If you want, you could buy his special directly from him. And but he's not out there promoting it, and if you remember, he had a movie that was right about to come out, and I don't know. I think that might end up in a film festival with what was it? The Day the Clown Cried? Is that that's the Jerry Lewis movie? Which the funny thing about that Jerry Lewis movie, other than the subject matter, is that movie Life is Beautiful that won the Oscar is basically the same story.
Basically.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's maybe not. It's not that.
For those of you who don't know about the Day the Clown Cried, it's this underground Hollywood thing. Jerry Lewis allegedly wrote this script about a clown in the concentration camps that would help lead the Jews into the ovens.
But he would try to make them laugh. That was his job. Yeah.
Exactly.
And I believe they never finished it. There's a lot of footage, but it's not 100% finished.
Right.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, there'll be a reading at some club, an underground reading of the script, of the screenplay. I've seen Patton Oswalt and that kind of crowd doing it.
I can't imagine what I would give to just read it myself or to attend a reading. I'd turn over my kids and your Emmy. I would give your Emmy away for that. But yeah, I'm not quite sure how we got there. But
was your fault.
Jerry Lewis never got canceled.
No.
By
the way, Jerry Lewis is funny. A lot of people think that it was stupid, but
Look, I mean, I think
He was
that
genius.
it works. I mean, I've never been a fan of the Three Stooges, but I certainly understand
You're not
why
a
it
fan
works.
of the Stooges?
I
Really?
think it's because growing up, my mom didn't like it. I can see it and be like, oh, this is really. I mean, the way that they work
There isn't a
together.
woman in the world that likes the Three Stooges. That's part of it.
Yeah, no, I think you're right.
Does your wife like the Stooges?
I don't think she's seen them enough. You know, I don't know if she's seen them at all.
All right.
I did always like the Marx Brothers because they're like
Not the one.
they're the thinking man Stooges.
Ah,
You know, I was more of a Chico guy. You know, because somebody had to be. But
thinking man's-
and by the way, those of you in the chat, which no, there's a few. This is your time for questions, comments, concerns.
reactions.
You know, the last time you were on the podcast, we talked about our Major League Baseball predictions, and I don't know. I don't think they've gone quite as swimmingly. I said that the Dodgers were going to only lose 5 games all season, and they've lost 7 already.
Yeah.
I think you bullied me into that. I wanted to say 10 games, and then I felt like I had to say 5. I feel strongly about them going 50-10.
Okay.
Even though they can only lose 3 more times.
3 more games. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
But you look at their schedule, you know, and then the Mets have been the Mets, haven't they?
Every year.
Here's Mr. Met for those watching. Here he is. I always put him on. And I was texting with a friend of mine who's also a Mets fan that, you know, when you started having the COVID positive tests for the Marlins and the Cardinals, and people started to say things like, is this season even going to happen? I said, yes. This season, all 60 games are going to get in because the Mets are off to such a miserable start. They're so infuriating. They would not put us out of our misery like this.
No.
We're going to get the whole season no matter what.
I want to be put down like a.
Yeah.
Well,
you know.
I discovered there was once on the old Dennis Miller program, we thought that we could pretty much say anything. Then we found out one day that the one thing you couldn't say or do was a joke about puppies.
About puppies?
Puppies. There was the head writer.
So this is the HBO show?
The HBO
okay,
show.
Gotcha.
Eddie had this joke where it was a friend of his or a cousin, and they had a little dog named Chicky. And the guy would give the dog ice cream, and he would say, "Scream, Chicky, scream," and the dog would eat the ice cream. And one day, Chicky didn't eat the ice cream anymore. Chicky was no more.
Oh, Chicky.
When Dennis said that, it was like all the air was sucked out of the studio. And he had to dig out of an extremely deep hole, and he was just left there holding his dick, and he thought it was a laugh line, and everybody was so angry. It was great.
I'm fairly sure I've seen every episode of that show, but I must not have appreciated pain at that point in my life.
Scream, Chicky?
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna need to find that. It's got to be out there somewhere.
Out there.
Yeah, I mean that show. It's it still shows up on some HBO services, but they got rid of the song because the Tears for Fears song. I think it's $3,000 every time you use it. And what Dennis said that there were like 215 episodes, so. Obviously, he kept those guys in business for a while, but HBO doesn't have any interest in paying that at this point, you know. So, and yeah, sometimes you'll see I don't know if it was streaming or on reruns, but Married with Children had that great Sinatra song, that Love and Marriage song.
Sammy Cahn. Yes.
Sammy Cahn, yes. What do I know? Same guy, right? They have that Love and Marriage song, except that it's too expensive to license, so then there's a generic knockoff that you'll hear sometimes.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if it might not be for streaming. Somewhere I've seen it.
They do that for most shows.
Yeah.
For Friends.
And that was why the Wonder Years didn't come out forever, because there was so much music licensing, and a lot of times they would just get re-records and stuff just because they could.
Rebooting that again?
The Wonder Years?
Yeah, with him as an adult or.
Oh, I mean,
something.
I wouldn't be surprised.
With Fred Savage.
Well, yeah, that sounds like Hollywood, right? Because
sure.
Fred Savage has been out of our life for too long, right?
Reboot is a Hollywood word that means we're out of ideas.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's what we're living through right now. we're doing a show on my patio with a microphone between us. So
Yeah,
clearly,
but that's new.
that's true. This is new. This is very different.
We weren't able to do this a year ago.
No,
Just agree.
we probably could have. I just no, but I never wanted you in my house. So yes,
I'm not in your house.
That's what I'm saying. Now I have an excuse for you to not come inside. But we were talking about the baseball season, and there was this controversy that I don't understand earlier in the week about Fernando Tatis Jr. swinging 3-0 and hitting a grand slam, and how and then the Rangers manager got pissed. And what I posted this, they're just lucky it wasn't his father, because his father would have hit a second grand slam in the same inning.
Oh, right.
Because that's Fernando Tatis did that. One-time Met Fernando Tatis, late in his career, like Willie Mays, late in his career.
Very late.
His career was already over. Just nobody told Willie yet when he was on the Mets. So and I don't know. I mean, and look, Keith Hernandez has said that you don't do that. You don't embarrass the team.
I agree with Keith.
But I do also understand the other argument. If you don't want to get embarrassed, throw a better pitch.
Yeah.
Play better. And I mean, I get it. It's 3-0. So if you did it on 3-1, nobody's going to say anything. They had a 7-run lead, which then became an 11-run lead. So it's tough, but it's also like, what do you want them to do?
Well, I mean, I would think that from as long as you're playing baseball from Little League on, you're always taught not to embarrass the other team.
That's true. Yeah.
Always.
But that doesn't stop anyone from doing that to the Mets throughout my lifetime.
The Mets embarrass themselves.
Good point. That's a great point. I wish I had my bell. My bell's only in there. I could have gotten it, but
weren't you?
I might go and get it. But
text Heather.
No, she's already gone back to work.
Oh, all right.
But Dominicus Saxon is here. Got in late. Is that weed by Salman? It is not, but there's a lot of plants here. And then Corby weighs in on baseball. I personally hate the unwritten rules. That's fair. How about you write them? But I think the idea, it's a lot of like the unwritten rules that are like, if you show up the team, your guy's going to get hit the next game. That's what happens. I'm fine with that.
And look, I mean, the Astros in spring training, those guys got thrown at.
Yeah.
And I mean, they broke the written rules.
Yeah.
And all they got was thrown at.
Yeah.
They're lucky. They should all be suspended.
Yeah. No, I know the fact that
Manfred covered it up for the good of the game or something like that, or to get them to roll over on everybody else. But I mean, and if you look right now, Altuve, one of the main instigators of this scandal, he's hitting under 200.
Yeah.
So basically, if he doesn't know what's coming, probably he can't hit it.
Yeah, which is weird to think that a guy who's 4'11" can't actually hit unless he's cheating, because I would have just expected that he was great. Are you enjoying watching? I personally, for me, I'm enjoying watching baseball. I don't care that the fans aren't there because I'm not there anyway.
Yeah, I'm enjoying watching the baseball. The only thing that bugs me is that we have all of our special trips that we can't take.
I know. Well,
I'm not going to say what they actually are.
No, we'll just talk about the baseball trips.
Yeah. We'll just
we're not going to talk about the the live podcast from the parking lot of the Olympic Garden in Las Vegas. That's not the show we're talking. No, the Olympic Garden's a strip club.
Yeah, I think it's closed now.
Well, I mean, they should all be open.
OG was
free,
full nudity.
Yeah, I think so.
So I've heard.
You know how I knew that was a good place?
What?
Penn Jillette said it was a good place because he lives in Vegas.
Oh yeah, he's like a big porn fan.
Yeah, so if Penn Jillette says it's good, it must be. Yeah, it worked out fine.
I worked for Penn and Teller.
Oh yeah,
I got a residual check from them the other day.
Hey, you know what I say to that? Bullshit. That was the name of the show. We'll be right back. Hey, we're back. Yeah, and you know what I like about the way that the baseball season's scheduled is that it's all like in division, and then also your interleague is also in your regional division. Is that no West Coast Met games? I don't have to worry about blackouts because they're not playing the Dodgers or the Angels or anything like that. It's all nicely contained, and I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what would have happened if the Marlins didn't go to a strip club and the Cardinals didn't go to. I think they went to a casino, but then some people, it was like a riverboat casino, but then some people were like, well, it's actually an outdoor like performance venue with the same name as the riverboat. I'm like, all right, well, they still went to a thing, you know? And who was the guy on the Clippers who like he got the leave for a funeral, but then of course he also went to a strip club in Atlanta, which is what the Marlins did. They went to a strip club in Atlanta.
And when they called him on it, he said he went there to get takeout wings.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm sure that they do curbside.
They have great wings at the strip club in Atlanta.
Yeah, I've let people in on this before. You know, that excuse that Hooters wings are great. They're not even like decent. They're not good. But that place isn't that fun, actually. Like
people like me hang out there.
Well, yeah, exactly. I would rather go to Buffalo Wild Wings where there's no pretense that, you know.
But the Hooters, the Hooters in Burbank closed.
Like closed forever?
Yes.
Oh.
Forever.
You know,
not that I've ever been there.
I went
Even though I could walk there.
Yeah, well, you were not allowed in. You had to do curbside takeout before it was a thing.
Do not serve this man.
I went to that Hooters in Burbank it was a non-production day. So I went with the aforementioned Eddie, who was head writer to the CNBC show, and Chris, who was the line producer, my friend Hazlett, and I think one other one of us. We just went just to go because it just seemed funny to us. And I've told this part of the story before. It was fine. It was whatever. But then like our waitress, as we're, settling up, she says, sorry if I didn't spend a lot of time with you guys or I wasn't as fun as I usually am, but my dad just died. And I'm like, come on. Uh-oh. That joke gave you the Rona.
And was she doing this as she was telling you?
Kind of, yeah. And I was just like, was this a tactic to get extra tip? Because she's like, I just won't interact with them, but I'll make them feel bad. So I'll get a 30% tip.
I'm sure he's very proud of you.
Well, at least we know what killed him.
What does your daughter do, Frank? She's a waitress.
I remember you and I went to Barney's Beanery, and I think we had a lot of questions for our waitress one night.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember anything. I don't think it was anything inappropriate,
but
it was just like we had tried to figure her out throughout the course of the night.
Yeah,
and by the way, the dog next door, huge fan of the Bladtcast. Yeah. But I can't really remember. But this is why it's good that restaurants are closed, because there's no wait staff for us to harass at this point.
We weren't harassing her. We were genuinely interested.
Yeah, we were just trying to see if we were right.
Yeah.
Let's get back to baseball for a second. Keme Egan, I'm happy baseball's back, but I do miss going to Comiskey. And no, I'm not calling it Guaranteed Rate Field.
Good for
Is
you.
Comiskey really called Guaranteed Rate Field?
Yes, it is.
I remember when it was U.S. Cellular, which also sounds stupid.
Yes.
Like a lot of the corporate names sound dumb. Citi Field you can sort of get away with because it sounds like New York City.
Yeah.
The best one is Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati.
Yes.
Because if you don't live there or you don't go there, you don't know that that's a bank. You just think it sounds cool. Like, oh, it's the Great American Ballpark.
Yeah. That works.
Yeah, but
T-Mobile.
Like it's funny because at one point in my life, Staples Center sounded ridiculous, but now it's 20 years in, it doesn't anymore.
Yeah.
But like Coors Field sounds all right. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm all right.
They changed Miller Park to like.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, it's something corporate now.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
It's
if somebody knows what it is, text it in.
Yeah, just mention in the chat if you know what they call Miller Park right now. I could look it up. I could look it up right here, literally. But it's just easier to look at myself in here.
Yeah.
I like the distancing here. I think like this might just become the show. Just get somebody over there, the hot seat, get somebody over there. Let's see if we got an answer to our question. No, well, Keme Egan says, yes, that is the name of it, and I fucking hate it. So agreed. Absolutely. I'm trying to think I know that I know people that have gone there as a concert venue. There's one in Providence, Rhode Island called the Dunkin' Donuts Arena, which just doesn't roll off the tongue.
Is that Didn't that used to be something?
Yeah, it used to be something else. It was like, Petco Park isn't as stupid as it sounds.
No,
it's all right.
It's okay, but it's a beautiful park.
Yeah, and then the one in San Francisco's changed. It was Pac Bell. It was AT&T.
Now it's something else, right?
Now it's AT&T.
Now it's AT&T.
It was like it was a different company in between those two, I think. Right. But I'm not that I exactly remember. Mail delivery.
Okay.
But yeah, so I don't know. I don't love some of the corporate naming rights, but it can be fun. Let's see what we got here in the chat. I literally can't read it from here. Miller Park is American Family Field. Ugh. American Family Field. I don't know about that. And then Salman is like the forced perspective Lord of the Rings did to make Frodo look smaller next to Gandalf. That's true. You're like the devil on my shoulder, the way you are right there. Or in something that has come up a lot on the Dennis Miller option lately is the Island of Dr. Moreau with Marlon Brando.
Oh, yeah.
And there's an amazing documentary about it on Amazon Prime called Lost Souls about the director, Richard Stanley. I know his last name is Stanley. And his vision for it and how they took it away from him. And then Frankenheimer directed it. But just the stories about Marlon Brando and how the like smallest man in the world ended up being in like every scene because he thought he was funny. Yeah, so basically you're the mini me. You're that guy.
I meet you.
The world's smallest man. And look at this for Corby. I work for American Family here in Iowa now for them. Oh, you're in Iowa at the moment. I'm like, I really thought you were Corby from Branson.
What is American Family?
Yeah, is it an insurance company or is it Wrigley is a corporate name, but everybody forgets that because it works. I agree. Like Wrigley Field, it's the chewing gum, I guess, or that family. But yeah, you don't think about it. I don't know what was Fenway named after a family? I don't even know.
No, Fenway is named because there was something. It's located in the Fens.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Which is, I think it's I don't. I could look it up, but it's part of means like some sort of swampy kind of land.
Have you been to Fenway?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's it
smells like piss.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, and I would say Wrigley doesn't smell like piss. No, they're both small, similar design.
They cleaned it up.
Yeah.
But I don't think there are bathrooms at Fenway. You're just encouraged to go right in your seat.
Yeah, and I'm too lazy to put the comment on the screen. Corby says it's an insurance company. It sounded like American Family. What do you think is the best of the ballparks you've been to? I mean, we've gone to some together. Petco Park is very high up. It's my wife's favorite is Petco Park, by the way.
Well, she hasn't been to that many, has she?
Well, I've dragged her to a few. Okay. She's been to San Francisco, obviously New York.
Have to make a distinction between the old school parks, and the newer parks. I mean, of the old school parks, I would have to say Wrigley.
Yeah, sure. Wow, I mean,
stunning.
In terms of like age of stadiums, it's Wrigley, Fenway, and then Dodger Stadium from 1962.
Yeah,
or 62. Because Shea was 64.
Stadium is, it's they've done a lot of work on it.
Yeah,
it's not my favorite. It's kind of dull.
Yeah, but the dimensions are so similar to Shea. It's very comfortable to sit in there.
Well, I've been to Petco.
Yeah.
Been to AT&T.
Yeah,
San Francisco.
which that one's nice.
We've been to the Oakland Coliseum, which is nasty.
Yeah, and I went to an Expos game at Olympic Stadium.
Big O.
Yeah, and that place was like at least it was fun and it had character.
But it had an echo, right?
Yeah. Well, the whole upper deck was like padlocked. But I think that we went to. I use this anecdote a lot about the time that you and I went to San Francisco, and it was July, but it was a night game, and it's literally the coldest I've ever been. I had been to opening day at Shea Stadium, one of those years where opening day was like March 30th.
Oh my God!
And it was windy.
And gray and drizzly.
It was warmer than that night in July at I assume AT&T Park.
I was staying at
Yeah.
Oh no, we were. My my friend Mark was generous enough to provide us with excellent seats.
Yes.
And when they arrived, Mark and his family arrived for the game, they literally had Trader Joe bags full of sweatshirts and scarves and hats and gloves. And we needed them. We needed them. And we were just like, oh, you know, whoa.
It's, I mean, there's.
And what's really cool is right around the 6th or 7th inning, the fog starts to roll in through the outfield, and the seagulls start gathering because they know the game is going to end, and they're ready to pounce on all the leftover garlic fries.
Yeah, especially in the outfield bleachers.
Yes.
I've sat there late in the game where it's fairly sparsely populated as well. And you have, like, the birds are landing not far from you to, like, you know, they don't land and take your food, but they're really close to you. And it's just like, it's the craziest thing that I've seen. I still think Pittsburgh, the current one, PNC Park, that's probably still my favorite. I love the way that it's on the Three Rivers and you can see downtown Pittsburgh. The actual physical ballpark is great. And I do love me the pierogi race. The race always factors in. The sausage race at Miller Park, the President's race in Washington, D.C., they've kind of...
That was the first one.
No, the first one was the sausage race.
Pierogi.
Yeah,
No,
the Miller Park sausage race.
Or American Life. An American Life?
American Heating and Window.
American Heating and Window.
The Garden State Brickface and Stucco Coliseum.
Fugazi Cadillac.
The Apex Tech Arena. I can't call you. You have to take the first step. Corby enjoyed Coors Field because of the family section. That sounds lame, I know. You know what? It's
not lame.
Yeah, if you go with your family, that's definitely what you want.
It's not lame.
I liked being out in San Diego with the kids on, like, that grassy area.
Oh, the knoll.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, exactly. They don't really care. So, I mean,
you like keep bobbing and weaving.
We've got pictures of Felix, like, rolling down it when he was little, and like they had fun out there.
Yeah.
I think it's smart to have those sections. The interesting thing was when I went to Comerica Park, is what they call Tiger Stadium these days, and that was the first time I went somewhere where, like, there's a merry-go-round and I think a Ferris wheel, and there's, like, all this stuff. There's, like, so much stuff to do that isn't watching the game. But then when you think, like, oh, but this is for the Tigers, that's probably built into, like, let's go to the ballpark and not watch the game. Yeah. You know, I think the Mets could certainly use some of that over the years. What else is going on in the world besides Ellen and baseball? That's really all I follow. I only follow Ellen because of you.
1 second.
I'm sure I get a lot of texts from you about this sort of stuff, but and don't worry, I'm not looking up your texts right now. The ones that you can actually share with the public, you tweet out. And you can find him, as you see on screen for those watching the video, at DWeiss Comedy. That's where you'll find our pal Salman. Salman? How do I even say it? Hey, Salman.
Yeah. I had here was something. A man in Utah was arrested for throwing his wife into a river over dinner arrangements. And my answer to that is, which wife? Because it's Utah and they do polygamy there.
Allegedly. Some people will tell you they don't.
Not everything in America stupid happens in Florida. Utah is funny. Come on, people. Give it up for Utah.
I don't think you can do your Susan B. Anthony chunk right now. I don't think that's going to play over.
You know what the B in Susan B. Anthony stands for?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I can't do it.
I know, but tell us in the comments what you think the B in Susan B. Anthony stands for. I will probably not put it on the screen.
You know what today is?
What's that?
This would have been Gene Roddenberry's 99th birthday.
Really?
Yes. So set your phaser to worms eating his dead body.
The best will be when you'll be able to use that joke when Shatner dies too.
Ouch.
What? It's coming?
You know,
No?
He's going to live forever.
I think he might actually.
He might.
Yeah.
He's got something going on.
Yeah.
He's made a deal. He has a Dick Clark deal going on. What, we got a comment?
Yeah, but I don't quite understand what the comment was. So let's see.
Gotta get
Oh, that's Coors Field. I have glasses, but I can't see. I don't wear it. Iowa derecho, lots of damage. See, I don't quite understand the comment. So it says Iowa derecho, lots of damage. I feel like Corby meant to comment on another show he's watching, but that's all right. Anyway, let's see. So have you heard that movie theaters are reopening in places that aren't Los Angeles?
Yeah.
At 25% capacity. So I just hope it never goes back to normal. Like I want 25% capacity.
Absolutely.
I'll wear a mask while I eat my popcorn if it means less people in there. I'll just sneak it in the side.
Yeah, you cut a little hole.
Yeah, put for the straw for my gallon and a half of Coke Zero. And what do you need to go back to the movies? You just need the door to open, or
No, I'm not going back to the movies.
ever?
Not until there's a vaccine that works. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna pay $25 between my ticket and my popcorn, and I don't know whether I'm gonna walk out of there, sick to the point of being hospitalized, to watch Crazy Rich Asians 2. Not that there's anything.
No. That's all right. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
The problem is that I pre-bought my tickets to Crazy Rich Asians 2, so I'm gonna have to show up when it opens.
Okay.
Have you considered going to the drive-in? Heather and I took the kids out to the one in Pomona, the drive-in in Pomona.
Really?
Yeah, and we went to one of our mutual favorite eateries beforehand, which is designed for the pandemic times. We went to Sonic because the whole point is you don't get out of your car. Here's your food. Now eat it inside your car, you disgusting pig.
That's right. Don't get out.
Yeah.
I will shoot you.
And then you go to the drive-in and you also don't get out of your car.
What did you see?
We took the kids, so we went and saw Trolls World Tour. It was a kids movie. They liked it. They thought it was fun. There's still a joke that they quote from it.
They stayed away?
Yeah. It was a double bill. We did not stay for the second film.
Okay, but still.
Yeah, but they stayed awake for the first one.
You
Yeah.
got a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
So I figured in the dark.
But would you go? They'll do some some retro stuff. They had like Goonies, they had Gremlins. They had RoboCop and Terminator, and I was like,
Double feature?
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it'd be
Throw in I forgot the Schwarzenegger movie when he's on Mars.
Get your ass to Mars. What is that one called? The Mars movie. Sharon Stone's in it, right?
They made it twice.
Oh yeah, they did do that again. Let's see if Siri's good for anything. Hey Siri, what's the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie where he goes to Mars? Nothing.
Okay then.
Thanks, Siri. Siri, what's the movie where Arnold Schwarzenegger goes to Mars? In the old days, I would have just typed it. Total Recall. Get your ass to Mars. See, I remember that. I couldn't remember. I didn't have Total Recall when it comes to Total Recall. Again, I don't have the.
I think you should go to an electronic.
Kame Egan is $1 late and $1 short with Total Recall, as is Dominica Saxon. Whoa, hot take from Dominica Saxon. Total Recall. The remake was so much better. Colin Farrell was in that. I almost said Colin Firth. That would have been a very different movie.
I never saw it.
I didn't see it either.
I mean, the original has Ronnie Cox. I love me some Ronnie Cox.
Ronnie Cox is fantastic in Beverly Hills Cop, but then where's he a bad guy? He's like is that the movie where he's a bad guy? There's something else.
No, he's the captain in Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah, no, but in something else he's the bad guy, right?
He had that good turn in Next Generation.
Oh yeah, when it was when Picard
Yes.
when Picard was with the Borg, right?
Right.
I forgot about that. Yeah, and he's the one who got Troy to wear a real uniform and stopped showing so much cleavage, and that's what made him the real villain. The rest of the series She always wore the uniform. Whoa, Ronnie Cox was in Deliverance. Okay.
Ooh.
We'll move on from that, though. There was something recently where, more recently, where he was the bad guy, I thought.
He's dead.
Well, yeah, I don't mean like yesterday. But
He has what Gene Roddenberry has. Death.
oh, Ronnie Cox is in the 1990 Captain America movie, which if you've never seen that Captain America movie,
Who's in it? Besides Ronnie Cox.
it's really just.
I haven't seen it. I didn't know there was.
Well,
such thing.
so Captain America is played by a guy named Matt Salinger, who is the poor man's Mark Singer. And yes, I know what I'm saying. I'm not taking that back. I feel pretty strongly that he's the poor man's Mark Singer. And it's so bad. And that's why people who it drives me crazy when people don't understand why nerds like me get so excited for good comic book movies, because there were so many bad ones. Like,
but even the bad ones are good ones.
Not that. That Captain America is like hysterical, but there's also a bad Punisher with Dolph Lundgren from 1987.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Oh, that's a film festival. Now that's the movies that'll get me out to the drive-in. You get the Roger Corman Fantastic Four, the Matt Salinger Captain America, the Dolph Lundgren Punisher, and only Superman 3, the one with Richard Pryor in it. Not the good ones. Just Superman 3. Actually, Superman 4 is pretty terrible too, with John Cryer.
Yes.
And Superman decides he's going to get rid of all the nuclear weapons.
Yes.
And the fact that they bring back Gene Hackman and that movie is still terrible.
Yes.
I mean, I think that tells us everything we need to know. Let's see. Jason Mjolnir. Movies that shouldn't have been remade. Are you talking about Total Recall? Should you and Corby get into a fight about it? I would like to see that. I don't know. I haven't seen the remake.
I haven't.
So we got down this rabbit hole because I said, would you go to the drive-in?
Oh, no.
Just no circumstances.
No, what for?
Growing up, I had a drive-in that's actually, it's actually still open. The Warwick Drive-in in Warwick, New York, if you want to head out that way. It's stories about Traction Park.
The world's most dangerous.
Yeah, Class Action Park. Yeah, there's a great book that's out now, and a documentary too, for those that don't like to read, about just all the injuries and lawsuits and just all the problems they had there. But so that drive-in's still open.
If you thought New York City was dangerous right now,
just leave your kids at Action Park for an afternoon.
Yeah.
And be like, all right, well, I'll see what's left of you when I come get you at 6.
Make sure you've got Jacob and Ronnie on speed dial.
But so we would go to the drive-in somewhat regularly. I know for a fact that I don't know if this is actually the first movie I was at, but I think it was. I was at the re-release of Star Wars, the 1979 re-release, but I really had to go to the bathroom. And it drove my dad crazy, the fact that I had to go to the bathroom and he had to stop watching the movie. And I was like, but haven't you seen this already? Even then I knew, like, come on. It's like, I knew that one day I would appreciate it. But, so I don't know. I mean, I saw movies all the way through, like, high school there. Occasionally you might bring a date to the drive-in. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, a guy.
Well, yeah. I mean, I said date. What? Well, I got to connect those dots. But I don't know. I like the drive-in. And right now it's the only option to see a movie if I want. I mean, yes, within my home, sure. But there are movies that aren't going to come out.
I saw a bus ad today for Tenet.
Tenet is going to come out in theaters, in places that have theaters. And Dominicus Saxon, our friend, he lives in Idaho. And I think theaters, they never closed, or at least they've been open most of this time. He's ready for Tenet. As long as New Mutants ends up at the drive-in, I'm going to the drive-in for New Mutants. I've waited for this movie for 2 years. I will go see it. But there's somebody sent me a message on Twitter from somebody who's a bigger nerd than I am. And I'll tell you how you can tell. They want to see New Mutants. So they bought tickets for opening night in Vegas, where movie theaters are going to be open. So they're going to drive from Los Angeles to Vegas to go see New Mutants at the movie theater. And look, I'm all for a trip to Vegas. But, I mean, unless they're showing it at the parking lot of the aforementioned Olympic Garden, I don't think my drive to Vegas would be for New Mutants. But
Have you actually been to the OG? I've been to the OG.
Let's just say no, I haven't ever been there.
Nasty.
I haven't been.
I mean, there are upscale strip clubs, of course. Not that I would know.
Not that you would
Not
know.
that I would know. But there are upscale strip clubs. But this was not one of those things. It made Jumbo's Clown Room look like the Palm.
Oh, Jumbo's Clown Room. Where, like, instead of putting dollar bills on the stage, you make it rain with quarters.
That's
Maybe
right.
some nickels.
Yeah.
Ding. Let's see. So Jason's back. Look at The Punisher with Dolph as an action movie that happens to use the name Punisher, and it isn't that bad. Here's the problem with that, is that I was so excited to see that character on the screen, and I think the Thomas Jane movie that they did and the Netflix series I thought were fantastic. So I think that you can do that character really well in a movie, just so long as you don't, cast Ivan Drago to play him. I can't imagine that, he was much better in that Masters of the Universe movie. Dominicus Saxon is speaking about movie theaters, and he actually says they've been closed since the end of March, but AMC is opening tomorrow, Dominicus Saxon says. No, Tenet's not until early September. I may go this weekend, but if the masks versus popcorn eating is a hassle, I won't go back. Dominicus Saxon, if you go tomorrow when it opens, I believe all your movies are 15 cents that day. They're doing 2020 movie tickets at 1920 prices. Look, I can't go. They're not open near me, and let's just say it wouldn't be a welcome decision in my household if I decided to go to a movie theater tomorrow. But you can go. Here's what I'll do. I'll Venmo you the 15 cents. Yeah. All right? I'm not buying your popcorn. That's on you. But I will pay you 15 cents if you go to the movies tomorrow. But I just want you to tell us all about it.
Scan your receipt and text it to Christian so we know you went.
Exactly. We need the proof.
Yeah.
Jason says, how can you not love the long flying camera shot in a sewer to see a naked Dolph Lundgren? I mean, that's the only part that does matter.
Really?
No, I'm just kidding. That's in there. Yeah. And then Corby also loves the Punisher on Netflix. And the ticket is 15 cents. The popcorn is still $39.99.
Thank you.
Well played, Dominicus Saxon. Well played. So I don't know. So no in-person movie theaters, no drive-in for you.
No.
When Bill and Ted 3 is available day and date, video on demand, will you? And I'm using that as an example. But a movie that comes out in theaters and then also on demand, would you rent a movie for $20?
No.
Okay, because you've got enough other stuff to watch, like
I got baseball to watch.
And Star Trek Lower Decks.
Star Trek. I haven't seen Star Trek Lower Decks.
I haven't either. I'm not excited about it. Let's put it that way.
I'm not a huge canon strict Star Trek guy, but I think in fact, I was watching Voyager and Enterprise last night on the H&I channel.
I don't even know what that is.
Heroes and Icons.
Wow, the H&I channel.
H and A-N-D.
Yeah.
I channel.
Which, by the way, this is the H&I show. Because we are both heroes and icons. Yeah.
Right. And, neither one of them is particularly canon, but I think Lower Decks goes lower.
Do you think...
On Gene Roddenberry's birthday...
Do you think that Star Trek, the animated series, was canon? With episodes like More Troubles?
Yes.
Yeah. The fact that we got a return from Cyrano Jones in that episode, I actually like the animated series, the Star Trek animated series. They used to show it on Nickelodeon when I was a kid, and there weren't that many of them.
It's on All Access.
Well, now I'm just talking about back in the day. I would see it when I was a kid, and I'm like, this isn't that bad.
No, it's not bad.
Yeah, but I think who wasn't there? Sulu wasn't there. And I think Uhura wasn't there. Gene Roddenberry should have been canceled. Look at the cast that he kept. Gene Roddenberry would get canceled today, I think.
No,
I'm kidding. Come on.
He would have been 99 today.
Well, what's he doing now instead?
He's getting eaten by worms.
Jason agrees that they should have done more Punisher movies with Thomas Jane. They did another one where I think John Travolta played Jigsaw. It isn't. The Punisher Warzone is not good. I don't know what else to say about it. But the Netflix shows. Did you watch any of the Marvel Netflix shows, or you don't need your superheroes in your home? Yeah. Well, I didn't know. Maybe you like Daredevil enough, you know?
I watched a couple of Jessica Jones.
Yeah, but that wasn't for the story content.
No, I thought it was pretty good. Actually.
I like her. Yeah.
I thought it was.
Kristen
really
Ritter's good. Yeah. Well, let's see. What else are we looking forward to? So we're getting a season 3 of Discovery in the fall. And have you and I talked about Picard on here? I think we might have.
We probably have.
We probably touched on it. Are you excited for season 2 whenever they're able to go back into production?
Picard, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm just seeing if there's anything else going on. I'm not like checking my phone.
Well, you're checking your phone because you know we've got like 9 minutes left, and then we're going to say goodbye to people. Yeah. You know, I at least got to get an hour out of this stream.
Picard is good. I like the tone. I like the acting. I like the writing. Discovery. I didn't like the second season. I thought it was very overwritten. They were really trying to, the Red Angel and who is it, and I didn't like the way that was resolved. And I think I'm in the minority here, but I think time travel stories are lazy writing. It's so easy to say, oh, I know what to do. Let's just go back in time or go forward in time. Like when Superman used to fly around the earth backwards. You've just isolated what I don't like about Superman, apart from his dashing good looks, is just the fact that if you fuck up enough, you just fly backwards around the world and you undo it. Exactly.
And I like those kind of stakes and consequences. I mean, I obviously I can be partial to your time travel stories. X-Men Days of Future Past, where they're trying to get from this desolate bleak. It's almost like trying to get from, it's like a pre-Terminator, because it was written in 1980. Just this idea that the future is so bad, let's try to go back and see if we can isolate the moment that'll prevent it from happening.
Butterfly effect. It's not.
Yeah. I liked season 2 of Discovery because I really liked Anson Mount as Captain Pike.
Yeah, I really liked Anson.
And I thought that the Spock was decent. That guy, Ethan Peck.
I thought he was really good, and that is a tough act to follow. That is really a hard act to follow because Zachary Quinto was pretty good too.
I thought he was great, yeah. Douglas Heimbinger Bigner says this Bladtcast is like the Beatles reunion. It's more like a Beatlemania reunion. It's not really a Beatles reunion.
It's a reunion of the Ruddles.
I like the Ruddles.
Okay.
And Corby, I don't know Corby to be much of a comic book fan, but he liked Daredevil on Netflix too. The seasons 1 and 3 of Daredevil are good, but season 2 of Daredevil has the Punisher in it, and
as a hero, or
no, as a vigilante that Daredevil tries to stop.
He's an anti-hero.
Yeah, John Bernthal, who people know from The Walking Dead, he's the Punisher in Daredevil, and then also 2 seasons of his own series. And he's great. There's a scene in season 2 of Daredevil, I think it's episode 4, where they're in a graveyard, just the two of them talking. And I was like, this is the best thing I've seen on TV all year, much less best superhero thing. But I don't get out much. I don't see a lot of TV, so what do I know? So that's what we've got coming a little bit, but are you looking forward to figuring out what Tenet is, or will you in 6 months just watch it on a screen like the size of your phone?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I've stopped going to a lot of movies.
Yeah, I've noticed you don't go as much as you used to. Yeah.
And I live within walking distance of a movie complex.
Yeah, you could go to, let's see,
Burbank
16, the Burbank 8, and the Burbank 6.
Burbank 6.
Yeah, so
that's 30 screens within walking distance of my shithole of an apartment. And
which, by the way, this is a good time to announce the David Weiss walking tour of Burbank, where people can go walk around all the shitty places. They can go to places we go to lunch. Yeah. You can go to Philly's Best. You can go to Buffalo Wild Wings.
It's a foodie tour.
Where else do we go? Oh, Pinocchio's.
That's right.
Oh, my God, I love Pinocchio's.
Oh, yeah.
Felix was a week old when we took him to Pinocchio's. The picture popped up on my Facebook memories recently.
Little spaghetti and meatballs.
Yeah. What do we got here? Comment was Dominica Saxon, not a comic book guy, but the Netflix Punisher, Daredevil, Luke Cage. Yeah, Luke Cage was great, and even Jessica Jones was unbelievably cool in that order. Luke Cage, I think they did a great job with.
He had his own show.
Yeah, Luke Cage had 2 seasons as well. Yeah. So most of those only got 2 seasons. No one is mentioning Iron Fist, which I'm in a very small minority of people.
He was a goofball, right? Iron Fist.
I mean, he's got the strongest fist in the world.
Right.
So
he was a goofy guy, right?
Not really. He's not supposed to be. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
That's the Star Trek Lower Decks version of him, is that he's a bit of a goofball. Where we've got a couple of minutes, but where can people keep in touch with you? It's on the screen, but for people listening to the audio, they don't know where to keep in touch with you.
Well, you can reach me at Weiss Comedy on the Twitter.
And do you give out the Insta, or do you not really use that?
Insta is, I think it's Weiss Pics.
Yeah, PIX, which reminds me of WPIX in New York.
That's true.
And obviously, I'm a little younger, but do you remember the video game they used to play on WPIX called Pix? You would call in on your phone, and it would be like combat or like Pong, just like a simple. You're trying to shoot. So when you would try to shoot, you would be on your phone and you'd say Pix, 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 and you try and win prizes. I have to see. I talked to Christian Toto about this a few years ago.
Man.
I think I found video of Pix on there.
Pat Harvey in it?
Is it have what?
Pat Harvey.
Pat Harvey from WPIX.
Wow.
I think she'd moved on from WPIX.
She moved on to the grave.
Oh, and where is she now?
She's taking the big dirt nap with Gene Roddenberry.
Oh, her estate is actually a huge fan. All right, so the visual is going to be lost on this. But
TV hits. Airing during commercial breaks. Lucky viewers got
so this is just telling us about it.
Okay, you have 30 seconds to play. Just say picks to score by hitting the moving target. Ready? Go.
So you're on the phone and you say Pix.
Channel 11 would broadcast and
I just want people to see it. Like you'd basically call into this this video game, like via your phone, and I don't know. It's look, it's part of my childhood. All right, don't judge me because I will not judge you. I don't know how we got onto that. Yo, Weiss Pics on Instagram. But you don't do a lot of Instagram, right?
I don't do a lot of Instagram. I'm very, 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 very busy, as you know. So I tweet out lots of things.
You were telling me about your like 3-hour naps. So that's part of what's keeping you busy.
Keeping me busy in the heat. Sometimes, if you take a 3-hour nap, you're groggy for the rest of the day. It's fantastic.
We're getting some late comments on Iron Fist. Dominica Saxon forgot that one. I liked it too. Tied for 4th place. I watched a couple episodes of Iron Fist. Corby says just didn't have time. And finally, we have the Iron Fist character for Disney Infinity. I assume Disney Infinity. That sounds like a video game or some kind of online thing. I am not smart when it comes to that stuff. I'm like Atari 2600 / Nintendo NES, the first Nintendo home system from like 1987. That's basically right where my knowledge of video games ends.
Yeah, my video game knowledge has never begun. I have no knowledge of it. I never even played Pong.
We did have Pong, which was a lot like Pix, as we're seeing. Yeah, Pix Pong.
Pix Pong.
Pix Pong.
I went to a Chinese restaurant called Pix Pong.
I knew you were going to say something along those lines, but
it's in Monterey Park. Spicy.
Pix Pong is very spicy.
Very spicy.
Yeah, you have to be very careful. So I think that this was fun, right? I mean, we could put a third chair over there and have Melissa talk to us about the baseball playoffs.
Absolutely.
It'll be more fun than having the little the quad split, as they say,
Which was invented by Jerry Lewis.
The quad split was invented by Jerry Lewis?
Yes.
What did he
Because
have?
when he was acting and directing, he needed to go behind the camera and see what was going on. So he invented the quad split so he could see himself and direct at the same time.
That was the day the clown split.
Yeah, the clown split and he left.
Let's see. One last comment. Corby, not a big gamer, but I like to play with my 6-year-old. Yeah, I can imagine falling into that category at some point in the near future, especially because a year from now I'll have a 6-year-old. So anyway, this was fun. I just, decided let's give this a try. We'll sit out on the patio.
Yeah.
Very socially and emotionally distant. Always fun to have David Weiss, Salman himself over here. And next time, why don't we let them watch us eat lunch? Because we ate lunch before we started the stream.
Yeah, we had Christian. We have the laptop is propped up on Christian's barbecue. Believe it or not, here we go. There's a professional grill right there, a little charbroil type thing. We had some sausages. We had a little skyline chili.
That's right, skyline chili.
I had a brewski.
And
I'm so loose.
And my wife came out for a little bit, and then she went back in the dungeon where she belongs.
The murder room.
Yeah, that's right. The back of my garage, we do have a room we call the murder room because it's a storage room, but it's encased in concrete. Right. So
after we kill somebody, we just brick it up.
Yeah, you don't ever hear the screams. It's the craziest thing.
Of the house will find the bone.
Yeah, no, I mean my Law and Order spec was based on this house, actually.
Isn't that what Magil Roddenberry did to Gene? She bricked him up.
Magil Roddenberry.
Is it Magil or Module?
I actually don't know how you say it, but we'll answer those questions and more next time on the Bladtcast.